I'm Dennis Wirth at the Comedy Kitchen, and you have just entered Bill and Sherry's house out here in California. Thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that now everybody knows where I live and they can steal all my stuff.
That's right. You want some Sam's memorabilia, come right inside of Bill and Sherry's house. But we have Bill Kinison, Sam's brother, and his lovely wife Sherry, and
Sam's first love, by the way.
First love. Oh, well, she's such a sweetheart. How could you not love Sherry? I know that. But take us back to the beginning. I mean, preaching runs in your family. How was Sam as a preacher? What was his...
You really want truth, huh?
We want the truth on the Comedy Kitchen.
It wasn't that good.
Wasn't that good? But do you think it prepared him for comedy? Because I know I started out, I had never spoken in front of people.
Yeah,
I mean...
Yeah, the stage presence definitely...
Came from the ministry.
Yeah, came from the ministry. The problem was that we had our older brother, you know, had a miracle in his life, and he was really the star of our family. Okay. And impossible to follow in the ministry. And then
that good, huh?
Oh yeah. And then I turned to an exceptionally good preacher that they used to call a preacher's preacher. Right. And Sam had to follow that, and that was tough to do.
It's tough to follow a great act, yeah.
Yeah, that was tough to do, and so he tried it for 7 years, and wasn't very successful. He told me one time he never made as much as $5,000 in any 1 year.
Oh, geez.
And so after he got a divorce, which was the biggest sin you could commit in our circles, anything else...
Yeah, tough to give advice on how to make a marriage work if you're divorced, I would imagine,
yeah, well,
right?
that, and their saying was, if you can't take care of your own house, you're not fit for the house of God.
Right,
And
that's
so that's when
They were
he
very
came in.
close-minded back then.
Was there any disappointment when he left the church to go do comedy? Was, I mean, in the family that they wanted him to...
Oh, my mother and my stepfather and stuff, but not with me, because I never felt like that was really his thing.
Right, not his calling.
I didn't know what his thing was. No. I always thought that we'd take care of him the rest of our life.
Well, I don't think he knew what his calling was until, what, he saw Richard Pryor and that changed his life, right?
Well, yeah. Went on his honeymoon, actually, and saw Richard, and he ended up in this divorce, and he came up to our church where I was pastoring, and told me what happened, and so I told him, I said, well, why don't you take some time and forget that your brothers are preachers, your dad's a preacher, all your friends are preachers, and why don't you look down in your heart and find out what you always wanted to do? Right. And I thought he'd take some time, and
quick
he took about 5 seconds, said, I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
Right.
And so I said, well, then
that's what you gotta do, right?
Set a date, never preach again, because if you go back, you're always gonna go back. And that's what he did, and then his date was in July, and he went down to find out they were, which is kind of funny now, but found out they were going to teach you how to be a stand-up comedian in a week down in Houston, Texas.
I took a class. That was how I got started.
Yeah.
It was a great class. So take
in a
us
week
to
they
Houston.
taught you how to do it?
Well, yeah. It gets you over. You know, it gets you over your fear. They don't teach you how to be a comedian, but it gets you over your fear to try it. You know, I always had the fear of trying, and Sam certainly inspired me. That's why I'm here today. Changed my life. I've met some of the most wonderful people doing comedy, had some of the most fun times in my life, and I'd have never tried it if it wasn't for Sam and his comedy. It inspired me so much. But take us to Houston. What was comedy like for him starting out? Was it rough, or did it click right off the bat?
No, he was for the first time on stage. He's the best one there.
Really?
Yeah, I seen him about after he'd been doing comedy about 6 weeks, and then I went down there and spent a week or 2 weeks. I don't remember how long.
Okay.
And after the first night I seen him, Sherry called me, or I called Sherry, I don't remember which, and she asked me, said, well, because you have to understand, up to this point, Sam was a loser.
Making $5,000 a year.
Well, and he's a loser with women that he ever had. He never drew a paycheck in his life.
I understand the story. I never knew what I wanted to do in life until I tried comedy. That's it. And before that, I just watched TV.
And so he got up on stage. He was a prop comedian at that time.
Props? Oh.
Yeah, came out with a box of baby Jesus and
all. A carrot top thing, right? Religious ones?
Yeah, a little bit. Anyhow, so she said, well, how was he? And I said, I'm no comedy expert, but I'm going to tell you, he's going to end up being one of the biggest.
He found his calling in life, right?
Yeah.
He did.
And you know, the ministry, I think, prepared him. He didn't have any fears of the stage, so he had already lived that.
Right, he was used to speaking in front of
Yes.
people and knowing how to work a crowd. It was great.
Yep.
So Sherry, I know you have music that runs in your side, and I brought the Sherry Kinison
Oh,
CD.
boy.
And after the cameras are off, I'm going to ask you to autograph it for me. But you have such a beautiful voice. Well, how did music get started for you?
My mom and dad were pastors, and
Okay.
so, you know, growing up, you had to be in the choir, you had to sing, and you know, we had some of the
So from young it
best
started out for you,
musicians,
right?
yes.
Okay.
And so Sam and I, as kids, of course, we liked different genres of music, and we used to argue. He liked Black Sabbath, and I'd say, oh no, you know, Aretha Franklin was.
Right.
So we had this connection of music from the time we were kids.
That's a good connection,
And
yeah.
it was, and so, you know, and our whole life, it was just the music in church. We always had great musicians, and then Sam taught us how to play the guitar and the piano, and he loved, you know, coming to church.
Yeah, music ran deep in his
Jam.
soul, yeah. Just he hit MTV
Yeah.
right at the perfect spot for the songs he did. But so take us out from Houston. He went out to LA. What was comedy like for him when he hit LA?
Well, he went out with a bunch of guys, and one of them was Bill Hicks. Who
The Outlaws.
We had known as when he was 16 years old, and I was there actually when he turned 18 and had his first legitimate drink. And they went out. Well, Bill Hicks, I mean, Sam was their god. And I think there was 5 or 6 of them. And I actually made the trip to move them out there. And we really thought Sam would hit right out of the gate.
It's a tough comedy scene out there. A lot of comics go out there, and you got to be at the top of your game out there.
Well, you
But,
gotta remember, Sam wasn't the normal, you know, funny thing happened to me on the way to the club.
yeah, he was high energy, right in the face. But
Yeah,
I mean,
and so Bill Hicks got a pilot the first week,
really,
and
that's
it didn't go anywhere, but still he got a
he
pilot.
got something, yeah.
Yeah, and Sam, he just kept, you know, Mitzi would tell him, he would showcase, and she'd go, "You're not funny."
He started out a doorman, right? He couldn't even get on stage at
Eventually
first.
eventually went to being a doorman for 5 years,
Wow.
and
Never gave up though.
no, he wasn't gonna give up, and I don't think he ever thought. I think he got to a point, he never ever thought he would play big arenas. He couldn't even headline clubs.
Right.
And then, you know, Rodney Dangerfield, who he had met, I actually met Rodney when I was there that 6 weeks.
The 6 minutes that changed his life, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the original meeting was unreal, because Rodney comes into this little club like he would do and Sam would do when they played a big venue, and then
Right.
they
And
go
hang
to a
out
little comedy
afterwards, sure,
club
with the
to
comics.
encourage the comics. Well, he comes in, and I told the bartender, I said, whatever he and his entourage want, let me know, I'll pay for it. So the bartender goes over and tells him, you know, the guy at the bar, so he has me come over to his table, but he has no idea, and it just so happens Sam's on stage. And he has no idea,
Luck of the draw that Rodney's watching him, yeah?
but he had no idea that we were connected.
Right.
He just thinks I'm some guy that paying for his drinks. And I remember he's watching Sam, and he turns around to me and he goes, "Hey, this kid's a fucking genius."
And he was.
So one day he's gonna be big. I don't know how long it's gonna take him. You're not too disciplined.
Right. He was
And,
young and raw, Rodney said,
And
yeah.
that started their friendship. And then whenever they would see each other, Rodney would go, "How many minutes you got?" And Sam would tell him, "I got 15 minutes, or I got this or that." And then they finally, one night at the comedy store, Sam went up late, like he always did, with Mitzi, because she wanted, at this point, he had a big underground following, so he'd pack it at 2 o'clock in the morning
Right.
with celebrities and porno stars and, you know, just people out in the middle of the night.
Your friends,
Yeah.
right? That's who come out to see you.
Yep, and so Rodney was there, and he sees him, and so he said, he told him, said, "Hey, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna bump somebody on this HBO special I'm doing, young comedian special." Well, Sherry and I owned a comedy club in Madison, Wisconsin,
Okay.
and just a few months before that, we had held the national Showtime Funniest Man in America contest in our club, the Comedy Cellar there in Madison.
Okay.
So Sam thought it was a contest. Well, Sam wasn't gonna win a contest.
Yeah, with the dirty material, you never
Yeah,
win
he wouldn't.
contests. No matter how good you are, you can't win.
And so Rodney, you know, he tells Rodney, he said, I don't do contests. So Rodney's going, hey, where's his brother at?
Talk him into it for me. Talk him into it.
So they said he's at home. You know, give me his phone number. So I remember he called me. Must have been 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and he tells me, he said, hey, your brother's missing a good opportunity.
Big
here.
shot, right?
And I'm doing an HBO Young Comedian special. I tell him the same thing that Sam did,
Word
almost
for
word
word.
for word, is Rodney. He doesn't do contests. And I'll never forget Rodney. I remember to this day, what the fuck is it with you two guys?
What am I dealing with here, man?
It's not a goddamn
It's
contest.
a golden opportunity
It's
and
a
nobody
showcase.
wants it.
You know, it could do something for him.
So what was the moment that made him decide he was going to do it? Did you have to talk him into it, or Rodney?
No, we just thought we had a free trip to New York. We didn't think anything was going to
Party
happen.
in New York, why not,
No,
right?
we didn't
Yeah.
think, and so we go up there thinking we're just getting a free trip to New York. You know, 6 minutes, nothing's going to happen. And the first night or the night before, they ran the show.
Right.
Then they're filming the next night, but you have the crew and everything in there.
The warm up, right? The
Yeah,
practice run.
and Sam clears the room. Everybody walked out.
Got
on him.
offended, right? I remember
Yeah,
hearing that.
yeah, they walked out on him, and Sam comes off the stage and he tells Rodney, he said, man, I can't get going in 6 minutes. And Rodney's going, tomorrow night you're going to kill Sammy. You'll
That's
kill
the fun of
tomorrow night,
comedy.
I'm
Every
telling
night's different. You never know.
you."
Yeah.
And the next night,
He
that
crushed
6
it.
minutes changed his
The
life.
rest was history.
Yeah.
Now, Sherry, I had you guys years ago on my radio show. You guys were nice enough to call in, and you told me something that I didn't know, that you actually sing and you open for Sam sometimes. You told me,
I
right?
did.
What was it like going from a small audience in a church to an arena opening for Sam? Were you nervous? Or?
No, you know, in church audiences, and Bill and I had preached for years in some of the largest churches in the country, and
Okay, so you were used to the big crowds,
yeah,
not
and
arenas,
it was
but.
just a different audience, but the same.
Now, you had a beautiful voice, you could win anybody over, but I mean, what was it like? Because you wouldn't expect a singer to be opening for Sam, and with his audience, it was a rough crowd.
Well, he
Did they
got
accept you
into-
as a singer? Or?
They did
They did.
because of the fact that Sam had kind of merged music with his comedy. He had merged the rock stars.
Okay,
and-
so they were used to
and
a
so
little
they
bit of
were
music
used to a
anyway,
little
right?
music before his opening, so.
Okay. So it was a thrill,
So it
to
was a
be up there,
thrill.
right? Because you
Yes,
said
it
you
was a
had the
thrill.
bond with Sam through music, so the open for him was great. So after the 6 minutes, what was life like after that? It must have been a whirlwind going from small to boom, everybody wants you. What was?
We had give up a good church. Just one morning, I felt like time to make a change.
Right.
Sunday morning, and I told her, and I thought she'd really argue, and she said, what are we gonna do? And I said, well, we got enough money to last for a couple of years out in LA, so Sam didn't want us to manage him, but he hadn't done anything.
Right.
And so I said, let's go out there, and just by coincidence, we got out here, and probably 6 weeks later, that special aired, and,
Things went nuts.
oh, well, we immediately, in a week, I did a 4 special deal with HBO. I did a 4 record deal with Warner Brothers. We booked a 40-city tour, national tour,
Wow.
and all that within a week. We
CDs,
booked-
HBO specials. That was within a week, really. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, when you're hot, they want to grab you when you're hot.
Oh,
Don't let
yeah.
the moment pass you by, right?
Well, down through the years, I would come out and try to do stuff, and I'd get agents and managers to come out, and they'd laugh their ass off. Then they go, I go, well, let's do some business.
Right.
Well, we don't know what to do with him. And so after seeing him on,
It's tough to put him on TV,
HBO,
yeah, with his
all of a sudden
material.
they knew what to do with him, and that was it. I mean,
Rest was history.
yeah.
All right, so I'm going to say some names here, and as a brother, just tell me what you think these names meant to Sam, okay? Richard Pryor.
That was his idol. One of the, I think, a great trivia question no one ever asked is we were raised in the same projects, Richard Pryor and Sam and I.
Well,
And-
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
He's got one,
Illinois.
Illinois, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something in the water. Great comedy comes out of
Had to be
Illinois.
something. Oh, we didn't know Richard then.
Right.
And then we ended up being really, really close friends with Richard Pryor. But Richard Pryor was his inspiration
Inspiration, all
to
right.
get into.
Comedy.
He saw Richard, and he was in the very front row, him and his bride.
Yeah.
And he told me, he said, after he seen him, he left, and he went, I could do that. I could do that.
Because he was used to it in the church, right?
Yeah.
All right. Rodney Dangerfield.
That was one of his best friends. Hadn't it been for Rodney, Sam never would have made it. I really believe that.
Right.
And I remained friends with Rodney until he died. Matter of fact, Sunday night before he died, died on Friday. I talked to him. We'd talk to each other once or twice a week. And he said, "What are you doing tonight?" And I said, "I got my daughter's 21st birthday." And he said, "Do you care if Joan and I come?" Well, like, I'm gonna tell Rodney no. And so, so he came, went in the hospital the next morning, and never came out.
Right.
Yeah, so very, very close friends. Sam would have done anything.
Well, that's part of your job. When you're a veteran comic, it's kind of an obligation to bring up the next generation. And
Well, it is for Rodney, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, you remember how funny Rodney was, but he brought us Sam, he brought us Roseanne Barr,
He brought
us
Jim Carrey back from the
Jim
dead.
Carrey.
Yeah.
He brought forward all those
Yeah.
great names. All right, Howard Stern.
Howard wrote the foreword in my book, but I remember he called me after Sam died, and he said something that kind of threw me off at the start. Because he goes, you know, Sam was my best friend. I know I wasn't his best friend,
Right.
but he was my best friend. And I thought, and then I thought about it, and I thought, Jesus, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
He probably was Howard's best friend, but Sam had other people he probably considered,
Closer to, right?
yeah, closer to. And I thought that's really astute of Howard.
For business wise, yeah, because Howard had him on a lot. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they
No,
were
they,
really
and they
close
were
friends.
best friends.
Yes,
They were best friends.
and Howard still plays so much.
Still,
of it.
even to this day, he talks about him. And he did a tribute show. It was like 4 or 5 hours, I think it was,
Yeah.
to Sam. That was special, yeah. All right, so I'm going to ask things a brother should know. Sam's favorite comic as a young child? Was it
His
Richard?
favorite comic when?
As a young child, I mean, growing up.
I don't know if your audience will recognize a
Yeah.
guy named Rudy Ray Moore.
Rudy Ray Moore, what was his comedy like?
It was filthy.
All right, so that's where
And
Sam got inspired by
he
it.
was a
Okay.
black guy, and we would go up in the attic. Sam would get an album of his, and we would go up in the attic so nobody could find us. And,
Gotta hide from mom and dad. That
and
was it.
play, and that was his first exposure to that kind
That
of.
kind of humor, right?
Yeah, I guess that's probably the first comedian he
Yeah.
liked. And that
That was like
started-
me listening to Sam's album. I like hide from mom and dad and just laugh my ass off. Like, God, he was brutally honest. But
Yeah.
what was Sam's favorite band growing up?
Growing up, probably Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath. All right, so he was
Yeah.
into the hard rock stuff. Right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Okay, but music ran. I mean, you don't do Black Sabbath in the church, obviously, so he could enjoy it outside the church, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I do a cooking show, The Comedy Kitchen, back in Massachusetts, and it's all around food. So who does the cooking in your family? Is it you, Sherry, or you, Bill, or a combination, or
We both do. He's the breakfast cook,
breakfast
and then
guy?
I'll cook.
And then you're the
Dinner.
dinner.
She's one hell of a cook.
Okay, what's her favorite meal she makes for you?
Spaghetti.
What's
No,
it?
no, no.
No.
No, we actually had the best meal yesterday. I love the goulash and the
That
green
was
beans.
very good. I enjoyed it.
Very,
for supper.
very country, but I love it. That's probably
Uh-huh.
my best meal.
What's his favorite meal he makes for you?
He makes the best omelets in the morning.
The best omelets?
He really is a good breakfast.
You want breakfast, you come to the Kinisons,
That's
right?
right.
All right, what was Sam's favorite dish?
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Pasta guy? See, all the big guys, you like pasta, that's my
Spaghetti.
favorite.
That was his. He'd call me and say, "Please make me a pot of spaghetti," and I'd take it down there to him, and he.
Enjoy the heck out of it, right? All right, so I got the one question everybody out there in TV land wants to know, and this is the big one and the important one. And I know it's been talked about for years. What is going on with the Sam Kinison movie? Is there ever going to be a movie about him or no?
I don't know.
You don't know. This is
I
a
don't.
tough question we say for last, but
I don't know. It's been 15 years.
okay.
Universal owns it. The latest commitment that we have is Josh Gad playing Sam. Matthew McConaughey was supposed to play me, and then he got out of the price range when he started.
So if it goes forward, do you think Josh will still get the role, or? Is
If
it
you don't get too
timing-wise?
old like
Right,
it was
yeah,
happened to other
right.
people, but I mean, it's a weird business, dude.
It's a tough business.
We
So,
have a great script,
yeah.
and it's
But we
a
do
tough
have a
business.
documentary coming out in November.
No, December
December.
12th.
Okay, so what's going on with Sam?
Right,
You got a
that's a
documentary about
docu-movie.
him, or?
Huh?
So what's going on Sam-wise, because I know you still manage his stuff, you got the documentary coming out?
Yeah,
and-
and then we have a networks deal with a company called New Wave.
Okay,
That you buy his catalog of everything that we have.
all right, guys, if Sam were still alive and he was sitting next to you right now, what would he have to say to you?
What the hell are you doing?
What have you done with my career? No, but you've kept this career living.
I think he would have been He'd have been happy and proud of what we've done.
Keeping his memory alive, yeah, because you got the website, and what do you got coming up?
Well, we've got a docu-movie that'll be on Spike December the 12th with interviews with everybody from Charlie Sheen to Ozzy Osbourne to Ted Nugent to...
All his friends in the business.
Yeah.
That's
And,
a good big thing, kind of like Wild Thing, right? All the friends come in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
And on network, Netflix, we have a whole catalog that you can get of his material and his music and everything. And then our newest project is that we have a couple companies that's wanting to do a slot machine.
A Sam slot
in
machine.
the casinos.
So if you win, does it go?
I imagine they
Yeah,
got
my
the,
probably
got the
does,
screen
right?
probably,
Yeah.
I would think.
I gotta get one of those for my bedroom. That's in my collection. I got the big collection. But Sherry, what would you have to say to Sam if you were sitting here?
Why did you go? You're supposed to grow old
Too
with
soon,
us.
right? You were supposed to go on and do great things, but you've helped Bill keep his memory alive, right? You're
Yeah,
proud of that. Something.
we are proud of that, but you know, that person that you can touch and feel is
So
gone.
much better, right? Yeah. All right, now I did have your CD earlier, and you are a beautiful singer, and I've listened to this 100 times. My favorite track that you do on here is Amazing Grace. So I'm going to put you on the spot for the second time today. That's an inside joke.
Okay.
Would you sing Amazing Grace with us?
Of course, and
Bill,
Bill can sing
you
too
gonna join
because
in with
he's
us,
on
Bill?
there.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Matter of fact, I do the talking on her song
He's
on
on-
that CD.
That's,
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Now I know something, all the inside details here. Ready?
all right.
We're going to nail it here.
Want me to start or you start?
We'll go together. How's that?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found.
I was blind,
But now I see 'twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious is that grace appeared the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and that grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
It's
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see.
I almost said the the show on a special note, and that was special. Thank you so much, guys, for being on the Comedy
Thank you for
Kitchen.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Till next time, eat well and laugh well, folks. Good night.